Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and I have been sent a package by the good folks at AIT Toys and 40Max. Yes, that 40Max, we may talk about that later. Let's take a look at what they've sent me. It is apparently the Lightning. Oh, isn't that just fancy packaging? It is, of course, a blaster. Their first foray into dart blasters. 40Max and AIT Toy primarily do airsoft, but they've decided to get into dart blasting, and they have made this pistol. It is quite snazzy, and I'm gonna take it to the range and plink with it, and then we'll come back here and we'll talk about it. Right, we're here on the range. First thing we have to do is turn the blaster on. There is a button here in the trigger well, right there. You push that, lights will blink, things will click, blaster will turn on. It's going to tell you that it's out because I don't currently have a magazine in it. If we push and hold that button for a little bit, it'll give us the readout of the battery. And if we hold the trigger while it's in safe, it will give us a readout of the current firmware, which can be upgraded. And it already has been since they first released it. We'll talk about that more later. But yeah, there's most of your controls. Selector switch is here on the side. It is fully ambidextrous. We have safe, semi-auto, 2-round burst. There is more features coming in of previously mentioned firmware updates. The mag release is not ambidextrous, but it can be easily reversed. So it's normally right-handed. I've already switched this to make it left-handed. It's a simple matter of pushing something into that little hole there and popping loose, and the thing will come apart, and then you can just swap it around. Very nifty. I appreciate that they did that. Battery is up front. It is rechargeable, comes out. We'll talk about that. Two-stage trigger. You got this little bit here that kind of looks like a trigger safety. That is, in fact, the rev trigger. And then you pull to fire. Once you have a magazine in and you put it out of safe, it will go into hotshot mode, which is fairly nifty. Let's do this. Have a magazine. We're going to put it in. Blaster's on. Says I'm out. Now, we're going to discuss this when I get back inside. Right now, in order to get it to register that there is a magazine in, I have to push the button again, and I will have to do that every time I reload, and then it will reset to 10. Now, I have the newest version of the firmware. It's not supposed to have to do that. It's supposed to reset the ammo counter when you put the magazine in. But I'm outside, and apparently the sunlight is tripping the sensor or mucking with the sensor, and it's the automatic reset is not working. It will work once I'm inside. So apparently they expected us to use this inside, or this is a result of them choosing a clear blaster. It might be possible to like paint the inside or put some tape or something on the inside in order to not have that sensor be tripped. We will see. But for now, we can take it off, and you might be able to hear it. The hot shock mode being kicked in, so the wheels are spinning slowly. We rev, and then we can fire. Let's give it a go. Now, the thing we want out of a brushless blaster like this is snappiness. How snappy is it? Do I actually need to hold down the rev, or can I just pull the trigger and have it fire? Let's find out. It's pretty snappy. That's nifty. Let's go burst mode, reset my ammo counter. I got him with the last dart. Nice. I'm a reload. And blink some more. Right, back to semi-auto. This time we're actually gonna rev. Oh. I got one left. Give it some burst. Oh, reload. Come on. Nice. That is quite nice. I'm gonna get one more mag just to feel that snappiness. Here we go. Meow. Meow. That's acceptably snappy. I'm gonna go get you your fips, and then we'll talk about it. Starting with shiny, fresh darts. 135, 135, 137, 132, 136. Very consistent and a decent FPS for, Nerf wars. A little high for most HVCs, but I wonder if a B car wouldn't bring that down just enough. We will see. We will see. Now, some bin darts. Let's see what happens when you put just junk darts through it. What? Oh, interesting. Oh, that's fascinating. Give me a second. It won't fire black darts, and we will understand why in a bit. But for now, so what are we getting? 143, 134, 136, 128, 127. A little more variance, including one higher shot, but it's still decent. It's decent. It will fire. That is pretty groovy. All right, let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about what's in the box. Well, up first we of course have the blaster, the lightning. Now it does come in entirely clear or with the translucent orange top, which I prefer, obviously. It does come with one magazine, though they did send me a second magazine, and you can purchase additional magazines. There is also the battery and its charging station. So it's USB-C rechargeable. You simply need any USB-C cable, plug it in, that goes there, and then this simply locks into it as a charging station. Now, a fully contained system like this, it has some advantages, but it also has some disadvantages. The advantage is this blaster is usable out of the box. You don't have to acquire additional LiPos, you don't have to have a LiPo charger, you don't have to worry about any of that. You buy this kit and it has everything it needs to operate. The downside, of course, is it won't work with anything outside of its ecosystem. So I have a whole bunch of LiPos specifically for pistols of this size, particularly for brushless pistols, and I can't use them with this. Like I said, advantage, disadvantage, kind of what you think. I do like that you can buy additional batteries as well, so you can be able to swap them out. It's not the biggest battery, it's not going to have the biggest capacity. The blaster does have hot shot, which means it is going to drain a little bit faster than if it didn't have that. But again, the ability to just buy it and go, similar to the Strife X having its own rechargeable system. All you need is a USB cable, which, since that's the universal for pretty much all phones these days, we've got the USB-C, we're good to go. It does also come with 10 what look like worker darts. To the world, they look like worker darts, and they're very nice. It does get good performance with those darts. It does like slightly fresher darts. It does like a firmer dart. So that's what is in the box. I covered most of the major features while I was on the range. We will go ahead and plug the battery in. Turn it on. When you turn it on, it will always say it is out, whether you had a full magazine in it or not. Now that I'm here in the shop, when I take the magazine out, it says bang mag to tell you that there is no magazine in. And then when you put the magazine in, it automatically resets, which it was not doing outside in the sunlight. So clearly they designed this to be used indoors. I don't know if making it not translucent would solve that. If we paint the blaster, I'm reasonably certain if we paint the blaster, that issue would go away. You might be able to only paint the area right around the magwell where that sensor is, and alleviate that issue. That is also, I assume, the reason that it doesn't like the black darts, is it's not detecting them properly. And so it's seeing the mag, it's not even seeing the mag because that black dart is not reflecting enough light to inform the sensor that the mag is in place. But normally, so I would, fire a couple of rounds off, the counter would go down until I run out, take the mag out, put the mag back in, and it resets, which is really nice. Now, a downside to that, potentially, or at the moment, it won't be soon, is that you can only use 10-round mags. Now, it comes with a 10-round mag, however, they charge it down. They were foresighted enough to make it take Nightingale mags. You do have to modify the Nightingale mag ever so slightly. You just have to bevel this front corner. Otherwise, it will catch on the magazine release, the lock. It won't let it go in. So you have to bevel that corner ever so slightly, and then it will go in just fine. And if you wanted it to actually lock, you would need to cut a notch in the Nightingale mag so it lines up with where their mag is, similar to with the Diana. Diana mags will not fit, but it will take Nightingale mags, which is nice. I'm sure Out of Darts and maybe even this company will very quickly release files for a 3D printed jig, that a guide that you slide onto your Nightingale mag, so you know exactly where to cut the notch, so it's nice and clean, which will be nice. But other thing, you do have to bevel that corner, and then it will work without the notches because it's friction in enough. As long as you put it in all the way, this will work. The problem is that this magazine holds 15 rounds and the counter only goes to 10. So you're gonna get to 10 rounds and the magazine, the blaster's gonna stop working until you hit that reload button or you pull the mag out and put it back in, and then it's gonna think you've got 10 rounds when you only have 5. They are also coming out with a 20-round magazine, and there is already I have a 3D printed end cap, which will extend it to 20 rounds. But again, what's the point when the counter only goes to 10? Well, you remember I said that this has already gotten upgraded firmware. This blaster is in fact Wi-Fi capable. You can connect to it using your laptop and upload new firmware, so you can upgrade the blaster. In the first upgrade, they made it so that it resets the counter when you put a mag in. Originally, you had to push that button every time you changed mags, which was an unnecessary step because if you're changing the mag, that should be enough to inform the blaster that you have reloaded. Making you push that button was one more thing you had to do while under fire, while changing mags. So they upgraded the firmware to include that. The next firmware update is going to allow you to set the ammo counter to 10, 15, or 20 to accommodate for what will be the most common mag capacities that will exist. They will also allow you to replace 2-round burst with full auto. So you'll have semi-auto and either 2-round burst or semi-auto and full auto. And that is a very, very good update, because when you only have 10 rounds, full auto is going to go burnt and you're going to be out of ammo. But with 20, now I'd kind of like to have full auto as an option. And so choosing between the two works for me. So I think that's pretty cool that they have those as options. I did mention that the magazine release is adjustable. You can simply push a pin in there or a straightened paper clip or something and pop it loose. It'll come apart. Be careful. There's a little spring in there that will wander. And switch it and just flip it over, and now you can make it left-handed. So I do plan to get a second one of these, have a left-handed one and a right-handed one. I'm looking forward to seeing all the bells and whistles that people release for it. I want a flared magwell. I want a B-car of some kind. I want, all of those shiny things we have for blasters. To kind of address the elephant in the room, yeah, it does look an awful lot like a Diana. It is significantly different in a number of ways. The way the internals are set up, the way the pusher works, the fact that it takes proprietary, there's all sorts of things. The Wi-Fi capability. There's lots of things that this has that the Diana doesn't have. But I will compare them in a future video. I'll probably also compare them to the Pew Pew, just to kind of show the difference between the various 3D printed brushless pistols that I have. I'm pretty sure there's more out there. I don't have the X-Fox one. I need to get my hands on one of those. The next time a wave of them is available, I need to, buy one under an assumed name or something. So I will do that review. This was the review of the blaster out of the box, to be fair. I will then look at it in a future video. But I like it. It's plenty snappy. I like the rev trigger. Oh Lord, do I love that rev trigger option. I don't like the way most people have done their dual stage where it's a partial pull. Here it's that inner trigger, which makes it really easy to tell where it is. That's my problem with most dual stages. It's hard to let off enough to stop firing, but not too much to stop revving. This makes it really easy to do that, and I appreciate that. So I like that they made the selector switch ambidextrous. That was considerate of them. The fact that they made the mag release switchable, very considerate of them. I really, really like it. As a first jump into our hobby, I think they have done well. They have added features that I don't think we've ever seen in any blaster before. They've kept a couple of very important things. Mag compatibility, huge. Very, very wise of them to do enough research to make sure that it was compatible with the main standard in the hobby. So I am impressed by their first foray. Once again, this is their first attempt. I'm very impressed. And the fact that they made it updatable, just good on them. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they come out with. I'd love to see an SMG. I'd love to see a battle rifle from them. I'd love to see more 40 max stuff, obviously geared more towards Nerf. There is some of that already, but I'd love to see more of it. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this company comes out with because I'm actually quite impressed with this. So let me know what you guys think of the Lightning, AIT toy, and 40 Max's first foray into the foam blaster world. What do you think of the proprietary battery? What do you think of the mag compatibility? What do you think of the colors, of the ammo counting? What do you think of all of that? What do you think they need more of? What do you think they could do away with? What would you like to see in future blasters? Obviously, there's only so much they can do with upgrading this one because they are limited by the buttons that exist, but you'd be surprised how much you can do with just a couple of buttons. So, let me know. My thanks to AIT Toy and 40 Max for sending me this, for adding more of this style of blaster to our hobby, and my thanks to you guys for watching.